Yep, you guessed it. We are back in the garage. It is still cold outside. Well, not so bad today. But I did forget to go and get the brake tool. But I think we can work past it. If the brakes, if the rotors are, if the pads are still have some decent meat on it, I can take them off and put them on with the same pads. If I want to put the brand new pads, I will definitely need the tool. So that's going to depend on 50-50. But what I plan to do, at least get started, is to get the car in the air, get both wheels off, get everything off the car. That way, if I do need the tool, I'll be at a point where I just need to use the brake tool to push in the calipers, put the brakes in, the pads in, and then tighten everything up. So I can still get the hubs off and do all that jazz today. So yeah, let's get started. If you've never done this, I'll try my best to show you step by step. So yeah, let's get started. Here is the quick overview of what we need to do. Get some light. Okay. 2 bolts up top. Those are 10s, I believe. Yes. And then there will be a couple more on the back end. I do forget what size they are. Then this, which is a Mark IV brake caliper. Yep, I did the swap. Take that bad boy off. And then take off the hub cap here, and then undo the nut, and then this whole thing, rotor and everything, will slide off. Underneath that, there's a spindle, a hub spindle, that will have 4 bolts. We take those 4 off, and then we can get to the spacer, take that off, and then swap in the new rotor. Just that easy, just that simple. And it looks like the brakes have decent amount of meat left, as you can see there, so we should be good with just swapping them out and putting those back in, at least for now, for the time being. So let's get started. Alright, sorry for the lighting. It is not a 10, I was mistaken. I am using a 13 mil socket for the 2 bolts, and once you turn it, there's another little nut on the inside of the caliper that you could just use a needle nose pliers like this one and hold it while you turn it. Otherwise, it'll just spin and everything will just keep spinning and spinning and spinning. So you need to hold that inner nut while you loosen the bolt. Alright, here you could just use a flat to pull this bracket down and release the e-brake and just loosen it. And it's held on by a little bracket down on the bottom. You can see there, it's 2 bolts, socket bolts, one top, one bottom. I used a 8mm Allen to get in there. I'm gonna break that loose. We can get the carrier off. And then we can work on the axle. Here, getting the spindle off. Look at that now. See? Now we're rocking. Okay, now, so some of you may have thought, hey Greg, you didn't take the adapter off when you had the caliper on. How are you going to stop the rotor from spinning? Easy. And that was a misstep that I made, but this is what I did. Took my other small jack handle, sat it in between the two, a stud and the axle nut, locked it down, broke everything loose. The one that it was covering, just take it off, obviously, rotate it, stick it back in, break everything loose. So we can take the last bolt out and remove this adapter. Which I probably will clean up these bolts because I have a little bit of OCD with stuff like that. Alright, so this is off. This is a 5x100 to 5x112. I think this is a 20 mil. Now, hopefully when I take the camber out, this will bring the wheel out to the edge. If not, I might be in the market for 25s or 30s. But for right now, this will do. You hear that? I don't like that noise. Now, I've had issues with bad wheel bearings in the past, where when they start to go bad, this whole thing starts to roast. I mean, it starts to glow and smoke. So you always want to make sure, just always double check them and make sure they're all right. Especially the way that this whole area is designed, with just tightening the nut. It's not the smartest way to do what Volkswagen did. But anyways, let's get to getting this rotor off. Come on. There we go. And she's off. Now, there should be a cotter pin. If you don't, then whoever did it before, not so bright. So you get your pliers, bend it up, take that out, set it aside, or you know, you can reuse it or get a new one. There's a castle nut. I'll bring you guys closer so you guys can see the castle nut. Take that off, that guy there. As you can see, this grease is all nice and brown. That probably means the seal is bad and it's been getting dirty inside there. Now you undo your nut. That guy off. And then it's literally, there's a washer there. It comes off. And as you can see, it's good. I thought that was a bearing. I almost thought that was a bearing. That would have been bad news. Pull everything off. And there you have it. Old rotor's off. Now, this is your seal. And since we're not reusing the bearing or any of that stuff, we could literally just toss that or resell it. What you'll do is you'll wipe this off, you'll double check to see if there's any scoring or anything like that from the bearings, pack it with some brand new grease, and you would put it back on. If you were just changing rotors and you didn't get new bearings, which I would suggest just putting new bearings because they're cheap. I think you can get a set, the front and rear, for like $8 and $12 respectively. Put everything back new, a new seal, and tighten everything back up, and then you're good to go. If you're doing what I'm doing, pretty much same thing, because I'm using new bearings and a new rotor. We could just literally take the new one on right now and slap it on. But we're going to clean this off, inspect it just to make sure there's no issues, and then pry off the seal, which is this thing here. I'm going to get to these bolts, these 4 bolts. Take these bolts off. There'll be a washer underneath. Get rid of that, and that will get rid of the camber. Alright, so I wiped it off, and looks to have no issues. You just want to double check and just feel around if there's any scratches or anything like that, because this is where the bearing rides, so you want it to be nice and smooth. Now let's take this seal off, which might have seen better days. Yeah, well, here's what it is. It might be still good. We'll see. These are the 4 bolts. I believe these are 17s or 15s. I haven't done this in a while. So, obviously if I find out what's what, it's definitely not 17. I believe they're 15s. So, they're 15s. Let me go grab a socket. Real quick. 15. I believe they're 15s. See that? That's money. They're all 15s except the aftermarket one. Well, the one I got from Home Depot. So we'll find the one for that, and we'll take the hub off. And there you have it. As you loosen the bolts, your the washer that I was using for camber is right there. So with that out, I can literally just bolt everything back up and go about my way. I completely forgot that it was just the one on the bottom because I'm undoing all these. But anyways, loosened everything out, the washer's out. Just bolt everything right back up because that's as easy as that is. If you wanted to add camber, you would follow all these steps, find a washer, and stick it in the front bottom hole. Obviously behind the stub axle. So basically, you take it, hide it underneath there, like so, put the bolt through. That gives the bottom a little bit of camber. So with that out, we can bolt everything back up, put the new rotor on, which I don't think I have grease. Now that I think of it, I don't think I have grease. That's unfortunate. Either way, I couldn't finish anyway because I didn't have the brake tool to put the new brakes on, which I really do just want to do, just since these, although not bad, they still have a lot of life left. I can bring some home from work tomorrow, pack it, and then we'll be good to go. Put everything back. It's not like I'm going to be able to get to the, oh, couldn't see me, get to the passenger side tonight anyways. It's already dark. Look how dark it is. It's only like 6 o'clock and it's, pitch black. Anyways, I'll bolt this back up, get to the part where I'm going to put the rotor back on, and then tomorrow I'll come home, knock out the rest of this project. Hopefully, I should be able to when I have some daylight. And then we'll worry about stancy stuff later on, because I am trying to get, I want the wheel like right about there. So more than likely I'm probably gonna have to get bigger adapters, but we'll see. Especially with the Mark II rear beam. I mean, yeah. So thanks for rocking with me. It's a little bit cramped. I feel there's all this stuff in this garage. I still feel cramped. I thought I'd have a lot of space, but I don't. I should have put this car in the middle. It would have way more space, and then park the GTI here. Hindsight's 20/20. Anyways, I will see you guys tomorrow with the completion of this project. Good morning, everybody. It is Greg. We are back to finish off this video or start a new one. You know what? I'm not entirely sure, and I'm okay with that. Today is Sunday morning. The weather is cool, not cold, which is perfect weather for working on a car in a garage. I'm off to AutoZone right now to rent the brake tool so that I can finish off the rear brakes and the rear suspension of the Jetta. Hopefully it works out the way I planned it with the no camber, and then everything will work out perfectly fine. And I'll see if they have any of the front suspension parts in stock, which I doubt. Normally they don't carry that stuff, because who's gonna carry parts for a car that's, you know, 20 years old? Yeah, 20 years old, give or take. So let's go see what we can find. Alright guys, so we are back in the garage finally to finish off what we started yesterday, or 2 days ago. Anyway, finish off the Jetta. I have the brake tool, I have grease. There should be nothing stopping us from getting the rear tires back on with no camber today. So I'm not going to show you what I did. Well, you saw what I did taking everything apart. I'm just going to blaze through because I do want to get done today. But I'll show you once I get to the point where you can level the car down and you could see it with no camber. Obviously, it's much like everybody else's. But with the Mark II beam, it's in a little bit more, as you can tell, on both sides. Anyways, so stay tuned. We're going to jump to the car being pretty much completely done with the wheels just about back on the ground. Alright guys, so we are done. The mission for no camber in the rear has been completed. You see, it barely makes a difference as I only had one washer for camber. But I'm going to pull her out now and see the final results. I'm going to slowly air down and see what that's going to look like as well. Take a look at her. Yeah. Makes the wheel wells look a little bit fuller, if you guys can see. Let me get some light. Christmas lights are on. Doesn't really make a difference though. Let me see if I can adjust this a little bit with the air. See what it looks like. Oh yeah. Alright, so got it pretty much aired out where I kind of want it to be. With me taking out the camber in the front and the rear, the front sits a little bit, the tire sits a little bit straighter than the other side, and the back sits exactly pretty much where I want it to sit, right there. Now, I think, I'm not sure who it is, but somebody had told me that if you could put like a block or something on the beam to where it's close to the where the beam would hit the body of the car, that way you could put something that way when you air out, you could just air out completely and it would rest on that block. Now I don't remember who it was, but I'm gonna look into that, because that way you don't have to worry about hitting numbers. You can just hit the button, air out completely, and get to this height every single time without worrying about pressure or height or anything like that. So I'm going to look into that, and for the front, I'm going to have it so it'll probably be around 15 to 20 psi, give or take what it is right now. So to get me right to that height. I just want to get the lip of the wheel down to about where the flare is. And as you can see, we are just about there. Now if I had more stretch, this wouldn't be a problem, but I'm probably gonna try to match this on the other side. As you can see, this side still has all the camber and it's not sitting where I want it to be. But anyways, that's enough with messing around with this car for today and this week. I'm gonna take back this brake tool, and I had to make a stop at the townhouse to check on some things. So if this is your first time coming to the channel and you would like to hit the subscribe button, check out the back catalog of videos. We have more stuff coming with Christine, with the GTI, and possibly, and I mean well, not possibly, there's a good chance that there is another car coming to the stable very soon. I'm not going to go into it at all, but I'm just saying there's a very, very good chance that there's another car coming to the stable maybe to a channel near you. Anyway, so have a good weekend, everybody. Have a great Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, all that stuff. Whatever you celebrate this time of year, have an awesome one of those. And I will see you guys hopefully next week, or maybe during the week, you never know. I'm off this week, so I have a lot of stuff I can take care of. So I will see you guys in the next vlog. Peace. And I'll see you guys in the garage.
Perfect.